Hi, I'm Erica Ash, the creator of Hoofbeat Collective, and today is Think About It Thursday. So on this training video, I want to cover 3 really important facts about water and your horse's overall health. And the first one is to make sure your horse is drinking enough. And enough water for most horses is 1 gallon per 222 pounds of body weight. Now that's kind of a rough estimate, and that's going to vary, of course, with your specific horse. But that is that kind of rough guideline. And also make sure that if your horse is in work, or if it's hot outside, they're going to increase that amount that they need to drink. And that can be up to 3 to 4 times more water than that 1 gallon per 220 pounds of body weight. So keep in mind of those 2 factors as well. So water is absolutely essential, and that amount is absolutely essential. So horses can live, days without water, even without food, but they can only live a couple days without water. So it's so important to make sure that they are drinking enough. And then the second one is to make the second really important fact is to keep in mind the temperature of the water. You'd be surprised how many horses will not drink if the water is too cold. So here in Oregon, we are getting below freezing temperatures, and the water is getting really cold, if not icing over. So keep an eye out if your horse is decreasing their water intake simply because the water is too cold and it is winter. Too often I see horses colic in the winter with an impaction colic because they just decrease their water intake, and it's not enough water to fully lubricate their GI system and moisten their food enough, their grain pelleted food enough to properly digest, and they get that impaction colic, and it can be really, really scary. So a couple things to deal with cold water is if you have a water heater in the barn, it makes it really easy. Just fill a warm bucket for them and offer that to them. If their only water source is a large trough outside in a paddock, you can get livestock tank heaters, the heating elements. Do be very careful with these and make sure you get the correct one for livestock tanks. Watch them for shortages. I've seen them shock horses. It's really scary. But when they are working effectively, not to scare you, they are really excellent to keep it from freezing and to keep the water temperature warm enough for the horse to happily drink their needed amount. Okay, and then the last thing that is often overlooked with water is water quality. And I have come in, and assessed horses, and they've had, different issues. And really the answer was the water quality. And that homeowner never checked the water quality. So even if you're on a well, it doesn't matter, or wherever you live in the world, water can be insufficient for the horse and just not as healthy as it could be for the horse. Why is it can have added minerals or salts that can affect imbalances in the horse's blood system and cause some different issues there. It can be as extreme as causing colic or like kidney failure if the levels are dangerously high. But you also have to consider what's around you. We've tested water and it had toxins in it, and like from fertilizers and pesticides from surrounding farms that got into the runoff and got into the groundwater, and then essentially, got in through our pipes and into our horse's water trough, unfortunately. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, algae in certain climates can play a huge role in toxins and water quality. So to go and get your water tested, it's usually pretty easy. There's lots of companies that do it. You take samples and send it off. And what you are looking for is a total dissolved solid, so a TDS study. And this is the study that you need. Not simply if your water, the hardness of your water, no, you want that TDS, total dissolved solids test. Get that back. They can help you interpret the results. And of course, if you need help, you can always consult your veterinarian. Is this water unsafe for my horse? You can also do blood tests if you are really concerned about your horse's if there is what am I trying to say? If there is a fear of toxicity, you know, absolutely cover your bases and get your horse tested as well. But start with that water testing. And you'd be surprised what the results will be. Okay, so that is it. My 3 top important factors about water quality and how it directly can affect your horse's overall health. So I am so glad that you chimed in today and are a part of the Hoofbeat Collective community, where I try to put out awesome content that is helpful and builds your confidence and clarity to provide the best care for your horse. If you haven't already, go ahead and join my free Facebook group and like this business page so you can stay up to date and connected with me as I come out with more content. I'll put the link to the free Facebook group down in the comments. So that is it. I will see you next week on the Think About It Thursday. Well, I will share another awesome tip, trick, fact, whatever, about keeping your horse happy and healthy. All right, see you.